Hey, today we'll review again Brian Tracy's book, No Excuses, Part 2. It's a great Part 2. I think that I always highly recommend to read it because there is a lot of great ideas. So, like always, I will read his ideas and after that I will give my thoughts on top of that. So, Part 2, Chapter 8, Self-Discipline and Work. What are the most important qualities that a person would need to be promoted in your company? Of these executives, 80%, 85% agree that the most important qualities are: number one, the ability to set priorities and work on high-value tasks, and two, the discipline to get the job done quickly and well. So after speaking with 85% of executives, they said that the most important part, being able to really understand what is the most important and really able to execute. When you're able to really understand that and prioritize, of course, you don't waste your time on insignificant things, but you actually do the right thing. This individual realized that it is not the company that is not willing to pay the money. It is the individual who is not contributing enough to be worth that additional money. The responsibility is his, not the company's. So a lot of times people think that my company is not willing to pay money for my position. But what this individual understood is that he needs to become much, much more valuable. The company could not afford to let him go and would be willing to pay more money because he's bringing so much value that is worth more money. So everything is on the person, not the company. It's a powerful thing. If I could do only one thing on this list all day long, which one task or activity contributes the most value to my company? This is one of the most important parts to become very valuable to the company. Understand that there might be a list of things that you need to do, but being able to choose one thing from that list and execute extraordinarily well, and when you do that, of course, it becomes so much more valuable. The law of three says that there are three primary things you do that contribute 90% or more of your value to your company or organization. That means that when you think about the three things, again, we look into what are the most three things, and it's very powerful. Only three things, what you do, contributes to 90% of your value to the company. And if you really are able to be super good expert in those three things, of course, the value compounds. Benjamin Tregoya, the very worst use of time is to do very well what need not be done at all. Such a powerful. So it means that so many people do things so well. Unfortunately, those things doesn't matter at all. No matter how well you do an unimportant task, it does not help you. Even worse, working on low-value tasks keeps you from working on the most important things you could be doing. So it means that every single day when you work on really not important things, unimportant tasks, that's keeping you away from really working on meaningful tasks and really bringing value to the company and to yourself. Chapter 9, Self-Discipline and Leadership. The overarching characteristic of a leader is that he's in complete control of himself and of every situation. It's very powerful. That means a leader is able to be in complete control of himself. He's able to be in control of the situation. That means he's knowing what he's doing right now. It might be that kind of situation is troubling, but he will be in control, but he's knowing that he's in control of his response and being able to know what he will do about no matter what. At this stage, you are responsible for determining what is to be done rather than how it's be done. So when you become very, very high leader, you just have a vision what needs to be done, but a lot of people who could be around you could help you how that could be done. Perhaps the most important behavior of a leader is for you to discipline yourself to be a role model. Such a powerful thing. It means that being able to execute in a way that you would love to be your employees to do. Because it says that if you really want to really understand, do you like your behaviors, is that multiply yourself 500 times. Multiply yourself 500 times. Would you like to see the company of 500 employees and acting the way how you act? If yes, it might be that you are a really great leader and a great role model. There is a direct relation between your ability to discipline yourself and your behaviors and your readiness to lead. That means if you are not able to discipline yourself, it's very hard to lead. Because when you discipline yourself, you're able to really help other people to really discipline themselves. That means you don't need to discipline them externally, but you show example, again, a role model. You're able to be a role model. How you're able to really show example by disciplining yourself to act no matter how you feel. Okay, behaviors, chapter 10, self-discipline and business. You need to concentrate on the most important thing you could possibly be doing every hour of every day, rather than getting sidetracked by low value or no value task activities. Like as an employee or as a business, you always need to understand that you do every hour, every day, something that really gets you the most value rather than sidetracked to not important tasks. Above all, you need the self-discipline to settle in for the long term, to develop a long time perspective in your business life. So it means that it's sometimes we want to really pursue something that is short-term results. But sometimes when you pursue short-term results, you really take away from long-term, because not all short-term goals are aligning with long-term perspective. So when you discipline and you always looking at how I'm moving to that long-term and what exactly short-term tasks are aligning with my long. That means you need discipline to be able to do that. Chapter 11, self-discipline and sales. They completed their calculations and they determined that the average business owner or executive who professed that sales were absolutely essential to survival and growth was spending only 11% of his time on sales and marketing. There's business owners who said that sales are essential for their business, but only 11% of their time was allocated to sales. So it is how you say one thing, but you do other thing. You need to understand that's what are the most important things. The actual sale itself is not under your direct control. It is controlled by a variety of factors about which you can do very little. But the activities that lead to sales are completely under your control. The rule is do what you can with what you have right where you are. That means that you're not able to really be 100% control of your result, but you are 100% in control of your efforts. And that means that if we want to really achieve your result, sometimes we'll need to put a little bit more effort, a little less effort, but you know that you are in control of your effort, and that's the most important part. Imagine that your sales manager is sitting next to you all day long. How would you work differently if someone were accompanying you and observing everything you did throughout the day? Whatever you answer, that is how you should work, even no one else around. That's just a much powerful thing. Like, how would you act differently if someone is always looking at your shoulder? I think that you will execute so much more better, including myself. Like, I'm not any different. I think that sometimes we're able to see, okay, when someone is looking, how we act differently. And sometimes could be having this very powerful thing. And that's what people sometimes do. Like, they have a Zoom call gatherings where they're able to really work together and be accountable to each other. I learned the law of the cause and effect. I learned that if you do what the most successful salespeople do over and over, there's nothing that can stop you from eventually achieving the same results and rewards that they do. It's very powerful. That means that if you actually want to pursue something meaningful and you know that who already achieved it, and you look into what they do on a daily basis and you do exactly the same thing over and over again, you will be able at some point get exactly the same results. Chapter 12, self-discipline and money. There's a lot of people who says your mental equation is money enjoyment. A lot of times people have money equals enjoyment, and we need to change that. So the starting point of achieving financial independence is to discipline yourself, to rewire your attitude toward money. You need to reach into your subconscious mind and disconnect the wire linking spending and happiness You need to then to reconnect happiness wire to the saving and investing wire. So rather than thinking that spending is equal happiness, we need to believe that happiness is saving and investing. And that, of course, will give options down the road. The law of accumulation says that every great achievement is an accumulation of many small achievements. I love it. This means that all massive achievement is compound effect. So small achievements over time will lead to great achievements. The law of attraction says that you attract in your life those things that are in harmony with your dominant thoughts. I love that. I love that. That means that you attract things in your life that is in harmony with your dominant thoughts. So what are those dominant thoughts? And look into your results. Is your results is aligning with your dominant thoughts? And I think that's, I did it so many times, and that's exactly what it is. When I change my thoughts a little bit, always the result changes. Very powerful. Simply by increasing your income does not ensure that you will achieve financial independence. This is because of Parkinson's law, which says expenditures arise to meet income. Such a powerful thing. And you can explain an example that when people say, like, if you were double your income right now, would you be financial free? A lot of people raise their hands and they say, how many times you doubled your income? And some people said twice, three times, four times, 5 times, 10 times. And they're still not financial free because they always increase expenditures. And he always says that if you want to really be financial free, so that means that when you have income and you increase by $100, that means that $50 need to go to savings and $50 need to potentially could go to increase your lifestyle. So that means rather than if you increase the $100 your income, that means not increase that by expenditure of 100. No, like 50 can be improve your lifestyle and 50 go to savings right away. And that's where financial abundance coming from. Chapter 13, self-discipline and time management. Some things you do are 5 times and even 10 times more valuable than other things, even though they take the same number of minutes and hours. So that means, again, this is the same topic that some tasks are so much more valuable. And we always ask, what are the most valuable thing I could do right now? What could bring the most return with my time? And when we are aware of it, and I think when we do more of it, at the beginning it's very hard, but when we do more of it, we start to be more and more aware of what actually brings us results. Only your actions tell you and others what you truly value. Only your actions. That means that a lot of times people say, oh, I care about my family, I care about my friends, but how much time, how much energy, how much money, how much resources do you actually allocate to your most important values? And your actions will really tell you how much value do you put on them. Companies deploy financial assets, but your most vital assets are your mental, emotional, and physical energies. How you invest them determines your entire quality of life. It's very important. So mental, emotional, and physical health, energy, because energy is the most important part. It doesn't matter how much time and money you have. If you do not have energy, you will not be able to execute. So when you have those resources, you need to allocate to the most important things. Before you commit to a new undertaking, ask yourself, what I'm going to stop doing so that I have enough time to work on this new task. I think that's including myself. I love trying new things. I love to explore. I love to do new things. But what happens after 3, 4, 6 months when you're adding one thing, other thing? You start to feel that your plate is so full that it's very hard to really start focusing on the really things that matter. So we always need to throw things out of our plate that we actually still put the most important time for the most important things. And then she shared 5 things that we need to really master our time and how to really remove things out of our time. So there's A, B, C, D, E. So A, must do. B, should do. C, nice to do. D, delegate. And E, to eliminate. And of course, A, you start first because it's must do. And if you finished all A's, you go to B, and of course, and then C if you have time. And D, delegate, and E, eliminate. The law of forced efficiency says that there is never enough time to do everything, but there is always enough time to do the most important things. Such a powerful thing. That means that what are the most important things? And do those important things. And you will have enough time to do those important things, but you will not have enough time to do all the things. And that's why those A, B, C, D, E matters, because it might be that you doing E that you supposed to eliminate, but you still do it. And that means you don't move any closer to your goals because you don't focus on the most important must-do activities. Chapter 14, Self-Discipline and Problem Solving. In fact, you will rise in life to the height of the problems that you are capable of solving. Such a powerful thing. So when you think about Elon Musk, he solves problems. He solves the EV cars, SpaceX. So it means that he improved his income, he improved his life because he was solving massive problems. So it means you will get reward based on the problem that's solved. If you solve small problems, you get reward small. That's very powerful. And then a 9-step method for solving problems effectively. Step 1, take the time to define the problem clearly. Understand exactly what the problem. Step 2, ask, is it really a problem? Because it might be it's not a problem. Step 3, ask, what else is the problem? Step 4, ask, how did this problem occur? Step 5, ask, what are all the possible solutions? Step 6, ask, what is the best solution at this time? Step 7, make a decision. Step 8, assign the responsibility. Who will be responsible for taking this, to making it happen? Step 9, set a measure for the decision. So that's it for the part 2. Next will be part 3, last part. It's a beautiful, beautiful book. I highly recommend not just listen to what they shared, but really read the book, because I think that is a very, very powerful book that allows us to develop our mindset to execute on our goals. So I hope you choose to win, and see you tomorrow.